there is bacteria, a lot of bacteria. If you've ever heard of probiotics or healthy bacteria, that's what's keeping us healthy. There is so many different types of bacteria out there. There is stuff that hurts us. There is stuff that's good for us. There's stuff that's neutral to us. And basically what keeps us healthy, what keeps us interacting with the world without getting sick, is this overload in our systems of healthy bacteria. So along with that, how it kind of works is that we found out there's a bit of an emotional sort of connection with our immune systems. So just mentioning that there is neurons in our gut, there's also neurons in our brain. So funny enough, they've done studies. If you yourself do a positive action, like if you hold the door open for somebody and you let them inside a building, it feels good for you to do that. It feels good for them to do that. And studies have shown that you actually strengthen the immune system, or actually balance the bacteria in your body by doing good actions. So if it makes you feel good, if it's a good thing, do it. They've also done the studies on the opposite end. If you do a negative action, something that doesn't make you feel good, something that's not good for somebody else, it actually unbalances that bacteria and makes the bacteria more acidic in your body. This is through a lot of chemical processes that happen in the adrenal glands and in the brain. So when it really comes down to it, staying positive is amazing for strengthening your immune system, because we're emotional beings. We have thoughts. We interact with each other, and to do it in a positive manner will always keep us healthy. So make sure that, if you want to stay healthy, open the door for somebody, make somebody a tea, just do something nice for somebody, and it really will actually make you healthier. With that, those are really all good and everything, but how do we actually eat or take something in for our immune system? Couple of essentials. I mean, there's so many things that actually help keep us immune, but I'll just mention some of the major ones. Vitamin C, for example. Vitamin C is a huge nutrient, majorly reason why one nutrient that we do not make in our bodies. We make a whole bunch of different nutrients and vitamins in our bodies, but vitamin C, we do not. So we have to get it from food or from supplements. Funny enough, they've shown that vitamin C in larger doses can stop viral production. It can actually start to kill viruses, because vitamin C, funny enough, is antiviral and it's antifungal. So taking vitamin C will strengthen your immune system and kill off any bad bacteria in the body. So vitamin C is absolutely amazing for that. The other thing you can also take, and I mean, you can get a lot of this stuff just at your local grocery store or health food store. Probiotics, like I mentioned earlier, in our gut, you can buy capsules or drinks, things like that, that really, really help to give you more of that healthy bacteria. Guaranteed you'll always feel good with a probiotic. It'll always keep your immune system nice and healthy. Another one that's really important is zinc. That is a supplement you can buy in the store, again, in capsules or in powders or anything like that. And zinc is really interesting because it is #1 for stopping viral production of viruses. So if there is a virus that has entered your body and you have a lot of zinc, what it really does is that it'll stop that virus from being able to put the virus in other cell tissues in your body. So zinc will halt that. So if you take zinc on a daily basis, especially right now, you significantly lower your chances of getting a virus, whether it is the big one that everybody's talking about, or whether it's just even a small cold right now. It'll really keep you, clear of that. Another one that's really important is magnesium. Major reason is that whenever we're around a lot of people who are sick, we ourselves get really stressed out. Magnesium is really, really good at relaxing the mind and relaxing the body, so you're not crazy stressed. It also helps with digestion, and if we're talking about probiotics and keeping the gut bacteria healthy, magnesium is really, really good for that. So you can never go wrong with it, and it also promotes really good sleep, which is another thing that's amazing for your immune system. And I really get a lot of flack on this one, but I'm just going to say it. Cut back on your sugar. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean don't eat fruit, but powdered sugar, separated sugars, baking sugar, white sugar, all of that stuff, they've done a lot of studies yet again, and we found out that about a teaspoon of just plain white sugar will disable the immune system for roughly 3 hours. So 3 hours with 1 tablespoon of white sugar. So if you're somebody who puts sugar in their coffee or likes a soda pop every day, right now your best bet is to try to go for something that is less sugar, more natural, maybe something that's made with fruit juices instead of a separated sugar, or something that's sugar-free. You'll find that if you do that, even for a few days, your immune system will strengthen, you'll get better sleep, and getting a virus is a lot harder to get if you have no sugar in your system. Sugar is very acidifying, and it really inflames the inside of the body, And I'm talking everywhere, every organ system. So if you can reduce your sugar, you don't have to completely cut it out, but you will significantly raise your chances of staying healthy. So those are a couple of my little points for inside the body, just to interact with your immune system and keep yourself, you know, mostly healthy, at least healthy as we can be right now. The other thing I wanted to talk about just in these times is how we interact with the outside world and how that sort of interacts with our body and immune systems. First topic, I get a lot of questions about, should I be using soap to clean my hands? Should I be using hand sanitizer to clean my hands? Does it matter? So here's my take on it. When it comes down to it, soap is one of the best things for your hands. Major reason why is that when you go to a sink and you wash your hands, you are rubbing and you are scrubbing your hands. And that actually moves any kind of bad bacteria and any kind of things that are on your skin off of your skin. When you get to hand sanitizer, generally we're just giving one squirt, we rub it around, leave it be, we feel clean. The biggest problem with that is because they're really heavily alcohol based, what happens is you're not just killing off bad bacteria, but everybody has a layer of good bacteria on their skin that's naturally produced through the oils in your body. We have all those little skin pores and all that stuff comes through, so our body has to be protected. So the funny thing is when you use hand sanitizer, especially 4 or 5 times a day, like a lot of people are right now, what you're actually doing is removing the protective layer. You're removing the bad layer, but then you remove the protective layer off your hand, making your skin more susceptible to viruses, bad bacteria, and things like that. So if you have the choice between soap and hand sanitizer, I strongly recommend soap, just because you'll actually be scrubbing it off. And then hand sanitizer, like I said, will just really make us lazy and then kind of remove a protective layer. Now, since we're talking about the hands, one thing I've seen a lot of, and you probably have all seen people and everybody wearing these things. I'm going to tell you right now, if you go out and about, this isn't going to do a lot of good for anybody. The major reasons is that when you wear a glove and you touch other things, you text on your cell phone, you open a door, all that sort of stuff, you're touching all the bacteria around the world, but you don't ever wash those gloves. You can wash your hands 10 times a day, but most people wearing blue gloves might put them on and wear them all day. And what they're doing is they're actually spreading more of the sickness around by touching other things because you can't clean a glove. So if you do use a glove, change them quite often. And I'm talking if you are working at home, if you go out and about, if you go into a store, well, you better change those gloves after you've been through that store because you're just going to be spreading the problem around even more. So a lot of people have asked me, should I be wearing gloves? Personally, I think it's a waste of money. Unless you're cleaning your toilet or something, go for it. It's great, absolutely. But really when it comes down to it, it's not going to protect you a lot. The major thing is don't touch your face. And that's wearing a glove or not. If you touch a door handle and there happens to be bad bacteria on it, and then you rub your eye, that's how you're going to get sick. Not because you've touched something with your skin. And like I said, your skin has protective bacteria on it, unless you've been covering yourself in hand sanitizer. So just a couple of notes so everyone knows, you know, not to get too panicky with some of our practices, because it's great. It's great to practice cleaning your hands and making sure we're not making everybody else sick, but we can dial it down a little bit. We don't have to completely freak out. Another thing that you can do that's really, really good for all of us is whenever you get home from being out, whether you're at work or even if you've had a lunch break, if you can do a salt gargle or a salt rinse, just by putting a little bit of sea salt or something like that in a bit of water and gargling it in your throat for, if you can, about 30 seconds, you will reduce your chances of getting sick at least by half. The major reason is that we have our tonsils right in our throat here. Now the tonsils are actually a lymphatic gland. And what that means is that it's a gland that filters all the different fluids and all the different liquids in our body. But this one here specifically, what it does is it accumulates all the little impurities that we deal with every day. So if you're walking downtown, you're going into a restaurant, you're talking with people, dust gets kicked up at you, any of that stuff that you swallow and breathe in, a lot of the impurities that your body doesn't want to deal with get stored right in that area. Now, a lot of times whenever we get sick, where do we usually feel it? A lot of times right in our throat. And that's just because that part gets built up a lot. Your tonsils just hold on to a whole lot. So doing a salt rinse or a salt gargle for about 30 seconds will spit it out and expel all of that buildup, reducing your chances, absolutely. I've been salt gargling for years. I think it's been about 2 years since I've gotten sick. And I salt rinse or salt gargle every morning. And whenever I go out and I work with people or anything, I do one at night, and it'll keep you nice and clear. So salt, never, never, ever underestimate the power of salt. It is incredibly antibacterial. It's alkalizing to your body. It's anti-inflammatory. It's wonderful stuff. So salt is always good. The other thing too that a lot of people have been asking me about is air purifiers and diffusers and humidifiers in your home. Those are great. Air purifiers always clean up the air, and a lot of them nowadays with carbon filters and ion emitters and all this stuff will actually be antiviral to your home. So if you go out and you buy just like a cheap $80 or $100 air purifier, you can make a huge difference in your home. A diffuser or humidifier, both of those basically put a mist of moisture into the air. The diffusers are usually a cold mist, humidifiers usually a hot mist, and those are great. And a lot of people put essential oils in those to keep the air nice and clean. So really having those in your home keeps the air nice and cycled, and it actually gives something else in the air than just, you know, what do we got in Calgary, just dry air. So definitely keep those up. It'll help you sleep better at night and keep your lungs nice and healthy. So always, you know, those are always good. And like I said, common practices, you know, the Dracula sneeze, sneeze into your sleeve, little things like that. Don't touch your face. Everyone's practicing the 6 feet. Is 6 feet going to make a big difference? Probably not. But keeping a little bit of distance makes other people not stress out. So I would say that's probably the reason is best to do it. And just a little bit of a note about what this whole virus is, just for everybody, so not everybody's too, you know, in the dark about it. The virus itself is like a common virus, like the flu. The big difference is that the flu in a mortality rate is about 1%. During all the studies they've been doing with the COVID, the mortality rate with this one is about 2, roughly about 3%. So not much different when it really comes down to it. Not as many people are dying from this as they would from dying smoking every year. You have roughly about 100,000 people a month in Canada dropping dead from heart attacks. And that's nowhere close to what the COVID is doing. So as far as really the scale of this, it's not that big. The way the virus itself works, a common flu, your lungs, what happens is you have bronchial kind of strands everywhere with little holes in it. And what happens is in between them, there's a lot of mucus that forms. So they swell up a little bit, and it makes it really hard to cough, and you get a lot of mucus buildup and feels really congested. The difference between the common one and the COVID is instead of those bronchioles getting a bit of mucus in between and swelling up, really what happens with this one is the bronchioles just kind of harden a little bit. So really what goes on is that they get stiffer. So this is why people report having trouble breathing. It's not that it's going to hurt them necessarily anymore. It's just a bit of a different interaction with your lung tissue. So it feels harder and it feels harder to breathe. The coughing might not feel as nice, but when it comes down to it, the actual mortality rate, the symptoms, half the people out there won't even get symptoms with this virus. They will have it, they'll get rid of it, and they might have had a sniffle. So when it really comes down to it, it's not the worst thing in the world. If you do get the virus, stay inside for 2 weeks. After that, you'll be immunized and you can get back to your life. So it's really not that big of a deal. If you do get the virus, take lots of vitamin C, take zinc, drink lots and lots of water, and you'll get over it no problem. So it's not a huge deal. Whatever the government or the news is talking it up to be really isn't what it is. So just another flu in the mix, not much different. Sounds worse, but it's pretty okay. You'll be fine if it comes your way. So with that said, I'm just going to mention a few useful foods. So we've got some nutrients that interact with our immune system. Get more of an idea of what the immune system is, but what can I do? What can I eat every day? I don't want to just be taking pills or supplements. So generally, right off the bat, fresh vegetables and salads. That is your #1 protective food. Major reason why is that when you get a fresh veggie, it's not just that there's vitamins in it, but you're also getting these things called enzymes. So enzymes, and there's a whole bunch of different kinds, helps with digestion. Enzymes also are responsible for hundreds of thousands of functions in your body. Everything from blinking to digesting to swallowing to breathing. Enzymes are a huge part of that, even interacting with your immune system. So if you eat fresh veggies, you're going to get more of these enzymes, which actually make your body work better. The other thing with fresh veggies is that you get a lot of fiber. And fiber is awesome for your immune system. Fiber can actually ferment a little bit in your gut and create probiotics. So the more fresh veggies and fiber you have, the better. The other thing too is that if you ever get a cold or you get bacteria in your body, the way it moves out is through our bowels and through our kidneys. So the more food you eat and the more bowel movements you have and the more you urinate, funny enough, the healthier you be because you're moving things through your body. So fresh veggies, number one, is my absolute favorite. You can never go wrong. Another one that I really like to recommend is garlic. Eat as much garlic as you want. Garlic is antibacterial, it's antiviral, it is anti-inflammatory, it is antimicrobial. It is amazing for your cardiovascular system. It's incredible for digestion. So with all that said, the more garlic you eat, you'll just stay healthier because you're putting in something in your body that's like a bit of an antibacterial. So more garlic you have, the less chances you are of getting sick. You can do garlic juice, you can just chop up garlic in cooking. Really, however you like garlic, eat it. You cannot do wrong with garlic and you really can't overdo it. You might smell a little bit when you go to work or when you're hanging with your friends, but at least you won't get sick. So garlic's great. The other one that I really like to recommend is oranges, lemons, limes, anything that has vitamin C in it. And the major reason why I recommend this, once again, vitamin C is strengthening to your immune system, it's antiviral, and is very protecting. Now, when you take a capsule in the store, if you go to the store and you buy some vitamin C powder or you buy a vitamin C tablet, what you're getting in there is you're getting ascorbic acid. So basically what you're getting is you're getting the base construct of vitamin C. However, if you look at something like an orange or a lemon down to the structure of it, what's happening is that there's other cofactors along with that vitamin C, which in a sense makes your body utilize it better and more of it. So if you do take vitamin C supplement or powder, if you can eat a piece of orange with that, or if you can have some lemon juice or lime juice with that, you'll actually make it more effective. So definitely combine the two. If you're somebody who doesn't do supplements and you don't like taking pills or powders or anything like that, definitely have a slice of an orange, have some lemon juice, and you'll get your vitamin C. It'll keep you healthy. You'll have no issues there. So definitely eat up on the fresh fruits like that. Once again, with sugar, you want to limit it, so you don't want to go crazy on the pineapples and the mangoes and a lot of the tropical fruits, but oranges are an exception because they're so high in vitamin C, lemons, limes, berries, blueberries, blackberries, raspberries. They're very indigenous to here, so eat them up. They're low in sugar, high enzymes, so berries are great. Another food that you can get pretty much at every grocery store is sauerkraut or even kimchi. Which is really the Korean version of it. It's more spicy a lot of times, but sauerkraut is really just fermented cabbage. And what that is it's probiotics. Now with that one, you're getting fiber, like I mentioned with the fresh veggies, you're getting enzymes, you're getting probiotics. The more sauerkraut you eat, the happier your body will be. You'll have better digestion, but on top of it, you'll have a stronger immune system because you'll be getting so many probiotics. You'll be getting more probiotics out of sauerkraut than you could ever buy in a capsule in a store. So eat up on the sauerkraut. You can put it on your salads. You can put it in your soups. You can have it as a side dish. Sometimes I'll eat it as a snack. Eat it up. It's amazing. It'll always do you good. You can never go wrong with sauerkraut. And then if you're going to be eating anything that's like a protein source, I tell people to keep it really light. Lentils and beans and chickpeas and things like that are really, really good. Major reason is they're full of minerals. They're more alkalizing to the body, and you can make a lot of soups and stews and goulashes and really hot things that are really good during this time of year. If anyone's afraid of getting sick, soups are a great way. Keeps your body clean, they're hot, and lots of water. And with that said, water, water, water. You cannot drink enough good, clean water. Now, water is amazing because, like I said, it helps your kidneys to eliminate waste. It'll keep your body happy, it keeps your stomach happy, and we're made of 70-ish% water. So, of course, we really need it. But I do want to stress the purity of the water. Now, if you're drinking a lot of tap water, in the overall, it's not going to do the best for you because our tap water here is full of chlorine. And chlorine is very, very drying to all our organ systems. Now, if you want to keep your system healthy and you want to keep your immunity up, dehydration is never a good thing. So putting chlorine in our tap water is a little counterintuitive. So if you are drinking tap water, sprinkle a little bit of sea salt or Himalayan pink salt or some kind of mineral drop in there to help give your body more minerals and balance out that water a little bit. Of course, if you can get reverse osmosis or distilled water, put a bit of salt in that. Some kind of filtered water is best. If you can drink filtered water like that for a few weeks, your body will notice the difference. You'll absorb it better. It'll be better for you. Your skin won't be as dry because you're not drinking chlorine. So the actual source of water is very, very important. I would recommend against buying big flats of the plastic bottled water. The major reason is that they use very cheap plastic for those bottles. A lot of times it's going to be full of BPAs, which is really just a petroleum product, but in a sense, it'll just dry your skin more. It can possibly, they've shown studies that it can throw off hormone balancing, but really it's just water that's tap water that's been sitting under lights all day in plastic, wrapped in plastic in a box. So it's never really nourishing. At that point, I'd rather say filtered tap water is much better than bottled water, but get the cleanest source of water you can and don't stop drinking it. The more water you drink, the healthier you definitely will be. And I'll mention a few useful herbs along with the foods because herbs are a little bit of a side thing that not everybody thinks of that can be really effective. There's a few different little things that will really make a big difference. So if you've never heard of medicinal mushrooms, definitely check these out. These are mushrooms that specifically grow on trees only. And they've got a lot of different names. You might have heard of shiitake, you might have heard of chaga or reishi, lion's mane. There's a whole world of these mushrooms. And what's really interesting is these mushrooms are antibacterial. These mushrooms are antifungal, which is really interesting because mushrooms are a fungi. They strengthen your immune system. They actually modulate your immune system. So you've heard of things like echinacea that boosts your immune system. A medicinal mushroom will boost it and lower it depending on your situation. So the medicinal mushrooms are amazing. They're high in antioxidants. They have more antioxidants than in blueberries and things like that. So if you get medicinal mushrooms in the health food store or the health section of a grocery store, guarantee you this is one of the strongest things against viruses, autoimmune diseases, digestion problems, cardiovascular disorders. A lot of these mushrooms can fix a lot of these different disorders. So check them out. They'll keep you healthy. I try to take mine every day. You can make teas into them. Some of them taste absolutely incredible. Some of them are really bitter. Some people get capsules, but check out medicinal mushrooms. It'll never steer you wrong, and it'll always make you healthier. The other thing too is teas, herbal teas. They are amazing for us. They're going to give us water. They're going to give us minerals. They taste really nice. They help relax us. And some of them are actually very good for our immune system. For example, if you've ever heard of holy basil or tulsi tea, this is an herb that is really, really good at helping to relax us and help to relax our adrenal glands, which usually is the cause of our stress. In turn, when you relax, once again, you strengthen your immune system, kind of like doing a good action. If your mind is at ease, your body will be at ease. Another tea that's really good is thyme. Thyme tea, probably a herb that a lot of you have cooked with. It's very popular in Europe to making thyme teas, and you really just grab thyme herb and you just steep that. And once again, thyme, very antibacterial. So drinking a thyme tea, putting thyme into your cooking, absolutely great because once again, antibacterial, it'll keep down bad bacteria in the body and make sure you're healthy. So definitely cook with lots of herbs and have lots of herbal teas. Never go wrong there. One thing I would try to recommend is to stay away from highly caffeinated teas. So a lot of the black teas, probably not the greatest, but green teas, chamomile teas, mint teas, any of these things are great for keeping your immunity up and keeping your body healthy. Another one is oregano. If you've ever heard of oil of oregano, basically what they've done is they've taken the essential oil of the oregano, and it is incredibly powerful at killing off viruses. It is incredibly powerful at killing off colds, flus, infections, whole bunch of things just from the oil. People use it topical. People will take it internal. If you take it for a long period of time, it actually starts to build up in the body and act like an antibiotic. So I don't recommend long-term use of oregano. And if you do take it long-term use, take a probiotic along with it because you can really reduce viral loads in your body by intaking oregano. And of course, cook with it. Put it on your food, put it in your salads. You can never go wrong with oregano ever. If you like pizza, throw it in your sauce, blend it up. It is incredible, and it's, you know, you can get it fresh these days at all the grocery stores. People grow it hydroponically, so it's always available. Another one that is really protective to the body is iodine. Now, because I'm talking about more foods here, I'm going to tell you you can get iodine from seaweed. You can get iodine from cranberries. Of course, you can buy it in supplements that are extracted from kelp. When it comes down to it, iodine is right where your throat is, close to your tonsils, but really it feeds the thyroid gland, and that's what that is here. Now, in other countries, in different languages, the thyroid gland translates into the shield gland. So we've been finding out that the thyroid gland is connected to your adrenals and your immune system and your gut. So funny enough, if your thyroid gland is compromised, most people tend to have a lot of different compromises in health, sleep, and stress. So taking a little bit of iodine can really keep this healthy. If you're somebody who has hypothyroidism, for example, which you don't want iodine because it overdoes this, my best suggestion is to get outside, get your feet on the earth, or go swimming once it gets warmer out. And the major reason is that the thyroid will absorb negative ion charge from the earth or from water, and that helps to balance and lower the function of it. Because when you have hypothyroidism, iodine will crank it up too high. A lot of people back off on that. So just get outside in nature and your thyroid will balance a bit more. And if you have no problem with it, a little bit of cranberries, a little bit of seaweed will always do you good. It's very alkalizing, and it'll just, once again, keep your thyroid healthy, keep your tonsils healthy, and just overall keep your stress down. And I'm just gonna touch also, people ask me a lot of times when it comes to iodine, what about iodized salt? Don't do iodized salt. If you ever go and research iodine production with salt, you'll find a lot of factories who have huge piles of iodized salt that sit outside of their factory, next to highways, next to factories, next to car exhaust and pollution and things like that. Salt is an absorbent, so it absorbs everything it's around. So a lot of regular iodized table salt is very dirty. It's not very good for you, and there's a lot of iodine in it, and it's almost too much iodine, and sometimes the wrong type of iodine, because yes, there are different forms, so you don't want to overdo it on that. So I just say stay away from iodized salt, get sea salt, and if you really want some iodine, get some seaweed, eat some cranberries, have some cranberry sauce, and you'll meet your iodine needs that way. Totally fine. All right. So I got one more topic today. This one is all about energy, because we all work every day. Where do we get it? Where do we get energy? How do we keep energy? We're working all day long. A lot of us have caffeinated drinks. A lot of us eat sugars. A lot of us have foods. A lot of us take naps to keep that up. So I'm just going to touch on a little points about where we get energy and how we can really utilize it and maximize our energy. Okay, so where we produce energy. So if you can remember back to high school science class, all the way down in our cells, we have these things called mitochondria. And these mitochondria spin. What these little guys are doing is they're actually producing energy in our body. Gives us little bits of energy in our cells, which translates through all the different organ systems and gives us what we need to work with. Now, funny enough, these mitochondria in our bodies, they burn carbohydrates. So they burn glucose or sugar. When you look at a human's digestive system, what we have is we have very long digestive tracts, and they are a little bit more alkaline. So what that means is that our whole system is very, very good at digesting carbohydrates, grains, breads and cereals and things like that. So we're very, very set up for that. When you look at something like for example, like an animal in the wild, like a wolf or something like that, what they have is very, very short digestive tracts and a very, very high acidity. So really they're designed to eat a lot of meat, which gets digested very quickly and expelled out of that very short digestive tract. Ours, on the other hand, we eat grains, for example, and the low acidity of our guts slowly break down the grains and all the plants that we eat and stuff. And what that does is it gives our cells a small, slow feed, a constant feed of this glucose, of this sugar, and we burn that down. And that's actually what gives us our general energy throughout the day. Along with that, we don't just run on sugar. We're not hummingbirds, and you don't want to just be eating sugar. There's been a lot of talk lately about how too much sugar is inflaming. It'll make you sick. People are doing sugar detoxes. So, of course, your mitochondria doesn't run off of just sugar. It's carbohydrates, which are more long chain sugars. When we get into short chain sugars like white sugar, that is very bad for us. That's where you get sugar crashes and people get hyper and things like that. But when it comes down to it, we also run on minerals. So yes, our mitochondria makes energy with the sugars and the grains and the carbohydrates that we eat. We will burn fat. Absolutely, we will burn fat. But if you've heard lately of things like the keto diet or the paleo diet and things like that, usually what that is, it's very, very high protein. It's very, very low sugar, which is really, really good for healing the body. Don't get me wrong there. But in the long run, your brain tissue and your mitochondria, a lot of your body, your muscle tissue really runs off of carbohydrates. This is how the human body is designed. So eating healthy forms of carbohydrates like oats and grains and things like that, absolutely incredible for the body. You will have more energy if you do focus a little bit more on that. But with this said, minerals are incredibly important. The major reason why is if you look at the body, we run on magnetic systems. So what's happening is we have neurons in the brain that uses electrical signals. We have muscle tissue all over our body, even connected to the brain, and it's all using electrical signals, actually electricity, and that's how the neurons are communicating. Now, what makes electricity conduct? If you think back again to science class, if you ever did the experiment with the waters, if you did a water that had no minerals in it, like a distilled water, you couldn't conduct electricity. But if you had water that was full of salt, then you could conduct electricity. So the exact same thing is happening in our bodies. If you don't have a lot of minerals in your bodies from, let's say, water, or let's say from eating lots of vegetables and healthy foods, then those electrical signals literally cannot conduct through the body and through the brain and through the muscle tissue as well. So minerals will give you so much energy, it's absolutely ridiculous, and good energy. So where do we get minerals? Well, number one, we get minerals through vegetables. Like I was talking earlier, you want to have salads, you want to have fresh carrots, you want to have celery, you want to have kale and spinach and all these greens, and you'll find so many minerals in these, you will have more energy than you'll know what to do with. So eat up on the greens. When it comes down to water, we get minerals in water, but like I said earlier, if you're drinking distilled, reverse osmosis, tap water, you're not going to get very minerals in those. So I really strongly suggest putting a sprinkle of sea salt. You can get mineral drops or anything like that. And really what's happening with water is if you drink it distilled or reverse O, there's no minerals in it. And the way our bodies utilize water is that it needs minerals for our bodies to be able to see it and then absorb it. So if it's demineralized water, the water will take minerals from your tissue and from your blood, mineralize the water inside your body, it'll absorb it. So it's a little counterintuitive because you actually use minerals to absorb the water. So a bit of a sprinkle of a sea salt in your tap water or in your reverse O water will fix that problem, and your body and your brain will work a lot better. So minerals are great. You can never go wrong with minerals. Along with that, I just want to mention about our blood. So when it comes down to energy as well, the way that our blood works and the way that our blood flows is that it has to be alkaline. So that whole thing with alkaline acids and bases, our blood has to be around 7.2 to 7.4 for us to be alive, for us to be healthy. So if that gets thrown off at all, we run into a lot of trouble. If your blood alkalinity, let's say, all of a sudden jumped to 8, well, your blood would thicken up, it would stop flowing, and you would die. So with that said, what that means is that throughout the day, your body will do absolutely everything it can to keep your blood alkaline and flowing. So if there are impurities in your body, if you're sick, doesn't matter what, it'll take minerals, and that's what minerals do, is alkalize. All minerals are alkalizing, but it will take minerals from your hair, from your bones, from your skin, from your nails, all these different places to remineralize yourself and keep your blood flowing. So this is why you'll notice some people eventually in life, their hair will go gray. You'll see people getting wrinkly skin. All these different things that you see with aging, really what's happening is your body is just pulling all the mineral stores to keep your blood flowing. So why am I saying this? I'm saying this because if you are putting things into your body that are sort of counterintuitive, like you are eating a lot of sugar or you're eating a lot of processed or fast foods, what's going to happen is these foods are very hard on the body, and it's basically forcing your body to take minerals from your bones and from your hair to keep your blood alkaline. And if you're going to take minerals from your body to keep your body healthy, you're going to get tired and you're going to feel it. So when it really comes down to it, your blood alkalinity is important. And this is why I say it's very important to eat your fresh veggies and drink your fresh water, because that will keep your body more on the alkaline stage, and it'll keep you from getting fatigued and from losing minerals. So very, very important there. The other thing I wanted to touch on, where a lot of our energy comes from, is our adrenal glands. Our adrenal glands are, in our backside. They're just above our kidneys there. And the adrenals are responsible for our sleeping. They're responsible for us being awake. Whenever we get stressed out, if someone cuts us off in traffic or something irks us in the day and we feel it, that's really our adrenal glands. Our adrenal glands produce specific chemicals or hormones. The major ones are known as adrenaline. We all know adrenaline. We know that riled up feeling we get whenever we get a shot of adrenaline. Another one is cortisol. Cortisol is coined as the stress hormone. So if you're ever very stressed, if you cannot sleep, if you're ever worrying about something in your mind and you just can't stop thinking about it, what you're actually dealing with is your body producing cortisol and adrenaline. And those chemicals stress us out. Now, generally we produce those, if you've ever heard of flight or fight, we produce those naturally as a human if we were ever back in the old days in a situation where we're faced with a large animal and we have to run away from it or something. What happens is all the blood immediately with the production of these chemicals moves all to your arms and to your legs. And the major reason is your body's trying to give you a chance to run away really, really fast, or, put your dukes up and fight it out, because you're in a state of panic. You're in a state of worry. So your body kicks all these chemicals up. Now, the funny thing is that an animal in nature, when it deals with stress, if you have a cat or a dog, if you ever see it get stressed out, it'll go run itself around the house, it'll run outside, and then it's good after that because it ran all that off. Humans, we're one of the only animals that sit and we think, and we think, and we think. We'll go home and we'll keep thinking about that one situation that kept bothering us or that happened to us. And we'll go to bed and we'll keep thinking about it, and we'll wake up in the morning and we'll keep mulling over it. And maybe after a few days, it'll go away. But the time that we've been thinking about it, just because we keep running it through our head again and again, we entice that production of more cortisol, more adrenaline, basically keeping the stress hormones high. Now, when your stress hormones are high, they found out that cortisol and adrenaline, excuse me, will actually eat up vitamin C in your body. It'll eat up minerals in your body. It'll eat up protein in your body. So it actually eats up and destroys all these essential minerals that give you energy. So when it comes down to it, your adrenals are very, very important to try to not let yourself get too stressed out. So with that said, what do you do to interact with the adrenals? Well, it does go back a little bit to things like drinking teas, trying to get proper sleep. That really helps. But little things you can do also, especially in these times, everybody's locked inside, everybody's stressed out. That really puts a big weight on the immune system. So a few things that'll really make a big difference: deep breathing. Whether you can sit in your bedroom, if you can sit on your couch, or if you can even get outside, 5 minutes, 10 minutes a day, if you can just breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth, maybe about half the speed, even 5 minutes. They've shown studies, cortisol lowers, adrenaline lowers, and other chemicals go up in your brain like serotonin, melatonin, dopamine. And those three, for example, those are the feel-good chemicals. Those are the anti-stress chemicals. Whenever you have been watching a favorite show or movie, or you've been reading a book, or you've been just reminiscing, enjoying a tea to yourself, and you just start to feel a little bit more on the tired side, and maybe you start to get hungry. What that's called being in parasympathetic mode. So you've actually switched your body from producing stress hormones to producing non-stress, feel-good, healing chemicals like the serotonin. That right there is one of the best states your body can be in. Your immune system is the strongest at that moment. Bacteria is the most balanced. Hormonal chemicals are actually balanced at that moment. So those are the states that you want to be in if you can. Now, right now, we're all quarantined inside, so it can be hard to get that. So I tell people, read your favorite book, watch your favorite movie, listen to your favorite album, do something fun, do something that you enjoy doing that puts your mind at ease. A lot of us have a lot of time right now to do this stuff. And if you don't have time to do this stuff, put 10 minutes aside. You can definitely do it. We all have time for everything. If you have time to text, you have time to sit back and do something you actually enjoy doing. So take some time to yourself. That will get your body to relax. That will stop all that production of all those stress chemicals, and you might even sleep better at night. And just with that said, sleep is one of the most important things that you can get. The body truly only physically repairs tissue when you are in REM sleep, so that rapid eye movement sleep. Your body only truly starts to go anti-inflammatory when you're in that parasympathetic state. So if you can get a good 8 hours of sleep a night, that is one of the best things you can do. Some people only need 6 to 7, but as long as you feel rested, your immune system will be stronger. The other thing that I encourage you to do is get outside and get as much sunlight as you can. The sun will give our bodies a vitamin called vitamin D. Vitamin D is incredible for balancing those hormones. Vitamin D is one of the vitamins that is actually a hormone. So when your body intakes it through your skin, you produce it into a hormone. And that hormone is responsible for so many things, from producing testosterone, helping with balancing serotonin in your brain, so actually feeling good. If you've ever heard of SAD, where actually people get depressed during the wintertime, it's from a lack of sunlight or vitamin D. You can go to a health food store. You can take a supplement, a capsule, or a liquid vitamin D. Usually it's around 1,000 to 2,000 units of vitamin D. However, if you get outside, let's say right now, even around noonish, and you expose your head and your arms for about 15 minutes to the sun, your body will produce anywhere from about 10 to 15,000 units of vitamin D. Far, far significant than what any supplement could ever give you. So get outside and get some fresh air, get some vitamin D. You'll strengthen your immune system. You'll up your mood. And overall, you will just be healthier and fix your adrenal glands. With that said, get outside. Do not stay inside. Breathing recycled air is one of the unhealthiest things you can do. Getting an air filter is great, but getting outside, getting the sun, getting fresh air, breathing fresh air into your lungs, that's really what you want to do. If this whole COVID thing, it really affects the lungs, then you want to make sure your lungs are strong and used. Keeping your lungs inside, breathing recycled air is not good for them. So fresh air, get that inside. That's amazing for your body. And the oxygen, funny enough, will give your body a lot of alkaline minerals. So the more you get oxygen into your body, once again, the more stronger your immune system, your digestion, and your overall body will become. So oxygen is great. So you can't really ever overdo that. And that's pretty much the rundown of everything that I've wanted to talk about today. In conclusion, I would say when it really comes down to it, during all of these times, because everything's really weird with COVID and we're all locked in and stores are acting differently, it's very strange times. Use common sense. Like I said earlier, when you go out, use common sense. Don't don't freak out about it, because the more you panic about it, the sicker you will make yourself susceptible. Eat fresh. Eat fresh foods. I cannot strain that enough. The more fresh foods you eat, your body will know how to deal with viruses. And relax. Take it easy. There's nothing we can do about really any of this, the way everyone's acting and the way it's going. If you get sick, you'll be over it in a couple of weeks. If you don't get sick, great. No way to stress one way or the other. So take it easy, do the things you like doing, and honestly, you'll be healthy and we'll all be good. There's really nothing to worry about. So thanks for having me. I really hope this helped you guys. Does anybody have any questions or anything? If anybody has any reach outs?
That was awesome. Thanks, Dustin. That was a lot of info.
Oh, my pleasure. Yeah.
So like you said that this virus is very much like the flu. Do you think the media is blowing it out of proportion? Is that your take on it?
I really do. Reasons, I have no idea why. It could really just be because the media themselves are very uneducated about the virus itself. I've been trying to keep up with this since it started, and I've got a couple of different health professionals that I check into, and they've even actually have reports straight out of China in the beginning of March and even early February. Places like the Shanghai government and even in Wuhan, they implemented vitamin C intravenous into the veins to stop the virus production. So even China themselves already has tactics to get rid of it. I just think our media is maybe uneducated and they don't really know the facts. So, it's like anything. The news hears one thing and they just blow it out of proportion. Yeah, absolutely.
Hmm. Does anybody have any questions for Dustin? You could just type them in the chat if you want. I'll ask them.
And like I said earlier too, the virus mortality rate through the studies is maybe 2 to 3%, which is only about 1.5% more than the regular flu. They even did a study in Italy recently, and they found out that 99% of people who have died from the virus were already diagnosed with 3 or more diseases. So that's a really interesting fact, that everybody who's been dying, they already were in the hospital. They already were sick. They already had an accumulating problem. So that's a really interesting fact to know, because most healthy people, like I said, won't even get a symptom. Most people will actually get a sniffle or maybe a light cough. It'll go away. They had the virus, didn't even know it.
Well, we're pretty sure that one of the agents with the brokerage had it.
Oh yeah, no, that's not good. Yeah.
And she's great, obviously. But yeah, like even her family didn't seem to, they might have got a little bit of it maybe, but it's funny, like I was sick a few weeks ago for a week and a half. And you just don't know. You just don't know if with it going around, and if that's what it was. There's so many mild cases of it, but
that's just it.
Do the best you can, keep healthy.
Exactly. When this all started up a couple weeks ago, my brother got a cold. And of course, right off the bat, we're all like, whoa, hey, you got the sniffles, what's wrong? But then after about 3 or 4 days, it went away. So, it's not the only one going around.
Yeah.
There's a lot of, like I said, a lot of bacteria comes into our body. There's a plethora of cold viruses, flu viruses that will enter your body and you won't even know it was there. It'll come and it'll go. And that's that. We only notice the ones that really upset us. We notice the ones that really do us harm, but we don't notice the ones that do nothing to us. So really, we're always constantly exposed to bacteria. And that's why I say it's so important not to kill all the bacteria on your body. You don't want to over clean yourself, because then you're just basically a target at that point.
Yeah, fair. Well, I think that's good. Does anybody else have anything? Thanks for joining. We have Michelle on tomorrow, which we're excited about. So, Michelle, do you want to explain a little bit of what Michelle does quickly?
Sure, absolutely. Yeah. So Michelle, she's my partner. She also is a Reiki healer like me, but her major thing is she is a massage therapist. She is also a tarot, or like an intuitive reader. So she reads with tarot cards, she reads with stones, she reads with fairy cards. So she's very in tune with the energetics and more of our spiritual realm. So Michelle does readings, massage, and I think tomorrow she's going to be talking more about meditation techniques and just ways to more get in tune with yourself. And she's wonderful at what she talks about. So you guys will really enjoy it.
Yeah, it's going to be great. I'm super excited for it. So awesome. Well, thanks, Dustin.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Yeah, thank you.
Can you stick around for a couple minutes?
Sure, absolutely.
Okay, awesome. All right, guys, thanks. Hopefully we'll see you tomorrow.
Have a great day.
And then some of you, I will see you at 1 o'clock. Don't forget. We have a brokerage meeting today at 1.
Oh, okay. It's good to pull people together and give them some time to do stuff like this. This is awesome.